8.2.1 is brand new, recently released in January, and it is built from the ground up. Let's get the slide started maybe. And it's built from the ground up, so they kind of started over. They realized that the integration points may have been a bit much for some of the third-party applications using Commerce Connect in order to build it. So they decided to rebuild on 8.2.1 on top of ASP.NET Core. Anybody familiar with Core yet? Any of my developers? Okay, good. And what that allows for is a very lightweight application, which also allows for very lightweight hosting options like IIS. Your Commerce Server Engine can sit inside of IIS as an application, and multiple sites can talk to it. Okay. Of course, they call it they say it's a state-of-the-art design and everything's perfect, but we all know that once you get into it and work with it, there are some things that you have to deal with. Not too many, because they did a lot of cleaning on 8.2.1. Okay. And what does Sitecore bring to Commerce now? Well, we all know that Sitecore likes to hone in on its content, centralized editing, centralized asset development, and all of that good stuff. Well, for your products and your merchandise, you have the same sort of concept where you have your visual merchandising and you have your content editing and assets all in the same place, same area. Makes it very seamless to go from your content editor to your product editor or your product manager. You don't have to go to a different system now to manage your products. And if you did, there's easy import tools, there are easy syncing abilities into Sitecore Commerce from your external product management system. Faceted search is pretty heavy and well used inside of the Commerce Engine, which allows you to get to not only your products and your assets, but those different variances, different pricing, all of the new bells and whistles that they've added into the Commerce Engine, you can find easily with the Commerce faceted search. Who works with campaigns? My marketing team, right? Campaigns are easily applied now to products and to the e-commerce shopping experience itself. Meaning you can personalize all of the user profiles. You can centralize those user profiles if you have an ERP or if you have something like Salesforce where you have your different roles and your different personas. Those can be used and made into one single customer role, one single customer user. That way you can take those behaviors and those analytics on from an external system and kind of gear your content or the products towards what they've done. Okay, even if you're not using the XDB, which I don't know why, to track the personalization traits, you can use those external systems and still get the benefit or that same value. Okay, extending to the omni-channel, right? That just like I talked about with Salesforce, but if you have an ERP, something like SAP or something like Microsoft Dynamics, you can easily integrate with those systems and bring in one actual behavior. Okay. So I'm gonna give a small scenario. Let's say that we have Kelly. Anybody in here named Kelly? Good, we're gonna call you Kelly for now, okay? Is that okay? Okay, we have Kelly. Kelly clicks on a Google ad, a paid Google ad, one of those fancy ones at the top, okay? They go to the website, they browse around a bit, they start interacting with the site. You get to know the person a little bit. Then they sign up for a newsletter. Now we have their email address, we have their information. We send them an email with articles based on their user interactions, based on some of the pages that they've clicked on already. Sitecore Commerce handles that out of the box. Once they receive the email, let's say they click on the link, they go to the actual site, or they go to a social stream, their Twitter or their Facebook, those same boots and that same interaction, same visits that they've made, that shows inside of their social channel. Makes it much easier for us to market to our user based on what they've done and track that history, track that information. All based on newsletter sign up and interactions on the site. Now let's say they're on your site based on that newsletter, they've went to it, they've determined that, hey, I've put some things in my cart, I put those boots in there, or in Dilberg's case, I put some Bob's Smokehouse in there because we all love ribs, right? I do. I put those in my cart, but I click on one of those fancy banners at the top or a side rail ad that takes me away from the site. Well, Sitecore Commerce allows for an email to be sent out to that user saying, hey, you forgot some stuff in your cart. I'm sure you're hungry. You should probably come back and purchase. She clicks on that email in her cart. She makes a purchase. And now she receives a confirmation email with an additional offer for maybe some potato salad or something to go with those ribs. Okay? What that allows for is tracking of the customer, tracking of the user, not allowing that abandoned cart to stay abandoned. Okay? We all know we deal with abandoned carts, and how do we prevent that from happening? How do we track that value, or how do we determine what to do with that abandoned cart, right? How do we try to market back to that user to get them to come back and make that purchase? Well, Sitecore Commerce out of the box, 8.2.1, not 8.0, not 8.1, they do it for you, which is very slick, in my opinion, okay? Kind of cuts out all of that chasing down the customer, as we like to call it. Business benefits. Now, I know once we talk about getting in a full commerce server engine, maybe we have to get another server, we have to host it, we have to do all of this. Sounds like extra money. Well, the total cost of ownership kind of comes down because it allows for smaller amounts of servers, right? Similar performance characteristics, and also a new opt-in plug-in feature. What that means is that you only have to use certain features that you need, right? Just like the Helix principles, it's built to where you can use the Commerce Manager from inside of Sitecore, you can use the Promotion Manager from inside of Sitecore, or you can simply use your same product manager outside of it and just import into Sitecore Commerce. You don't necessarily need all of the plugins or all of the modules themselves, which is very cool because it makes it more lightweight or as heavy as you need it to be, okay? Merchandiser flexibility. You're able to create new types of products now. Okay, you have your hard goods, you have your soft goods for downloads and different variants and a large number at the same time. Also pricing tiers and different pricing and promotions that you can apply, and we'll get to some of that later on. But the customer satisfaction, you can easily address some of the customer orders, or you can process orders right from a single repo, or you can cancel an order or place an order on hold right from a single customer service management system. So it's definitely a good tool to stay centralized, and you don't have to use your 3 or 4 different applications like I know some businesses use, okay? Let's talk about a bit of that order administration. Okay, I know based on experience, you have a call center or a customer service team that handles and processes the orders that may receive in phone calls that say, hey, I haven't received my order yet, or I need to cancel that order. Well, just about anybody can handle that from within inside the order management system now. You, again, place those holds on orders for no further processing. You can manage the user accounts. You can manage returns. You can essentially do just about anything that a standard order system would allow from within inside of Commerce, okay? It kind of cuts out some of the additional overhead for additional applications and merging and syncing, okay? Right inside of there. You can also edit orders, edit the order lines. You can add additional quantities. You can remove orders. You can change the variant or change the color or whatnot from right inside that order management system, okay? Capturing the order and capturing the cart. A lot of times those abandoned carts, they just say they're abandoned. And if you're familiar with any third-party commerce system, something like UCommerce or anything like that, then you'll know that, hey, all you get inside of the XDB is that this person had an abandoned cart. You're not truly sure of what was inside of that cart or when that cart was abandoned. Well, Commerce bumps it up a notch. You can see each actual order line inside of that cart. You can split payments. If someone wants to say, hey, I need to put this on this card, and then my husband's going to purchase the other half, you can do that as well as splitting shipments. Okay, if I needed to ship one item here and one item there, you can do that without having the customer go in and place an entirely different order for that second item that needs to be shipped somewhere else. Okay. Digital goods. I don't know if any of you all sell digital goods at all, but commerce allows for not only multiple downloads, but from within the system, you can determine who gets the download, if it's a promotion or not associated with it. If they make a purchase on a hard good, then they get an additional download for whatever, maybe a catalog or something like that. All of that can be handled through the cart and the capturing. Post-capture order processing, okay? Just again, more about handling the order, handling the actual processing of payments, the shipping of the order, and identifying what orders are being placed and when they're being placed. If there's an issue with orders being processed, you can get an alert. The user gets an alert as well. It's a real cool tool that really allows for, like I said, that centralized management, which is what they're really focusing on, okay? Not a third-party Commerce Connect system. This is more inside of the Commerce engine itself. Any questions? I know I'm going a bit fast. I want to make sure that we get some questions in at the end for the entire team, okay? Entitlements. Now, how many of you all deal with subscriptions on your orders or anything like that? Well, you can handle those subscriptions directly inside of this system now. I have a number of clients that have a subscription service or have an ERP that handles that, or they handle it in a different system. All of the orders and order management is being handled inside of Commerce now. I've talked about access to the downloads, but that's a huge thing now, right? We're living in a digital world and we're selling more online books, we're selling online videos, different catalogs. All of that can be managed with inside the product system. Promotions, coupon codes, a number of different benefits based on some of the tiered pricing. All of that can be handled and managed inside of that commerce system. There it is. Okay. Now I know pricing has been a thorn in my side personally when we want to deal with tiered pricing based on the amount of products in a cart, based on the type of product in a cart, based on even what type of customer it is, when they purchase it. There are a number of different qualifications that a customer can meet to receive some tiered pricing or to receive a pricing discount. All of it is dynamic. We can create custom pricing rules. How many are familiar with the rules engine inside of the XDB or inside of the personalization editor? Well, the rules engine itself just says, hey, if you meet this rule, show this content, essentially, right? That's our personalization as Brett talked about. Well, inside of commerce, we do the same thing. If you meet this rule, you can receive this price, or you can receive this discount. And that discount can be a percentage off, it can be a hard price, it can be just about anything you want. It can also be an additional product added on to the order itself based on their purchase, okay? You have your list price, and then you can give an item a sales price, okay? Based on those qualifications, they can receive the sale price, okay? Pricing itself is handled through what they call price books. You can create a price book with multiple prices inside of it and give it a time frame for when this price should be applied, okay? So if you have something like Deerberg's, I use, I'm familiar. Deerberg's has a spring sale on certain items, and we can set it up for just spring, or you can set it up for summer. Okay, and once summer kicks in, that price drops down without someone even having to go in and change anything or click a button. All it needs is a little bit of approval through workflow. We're all familiar with workflow, same process, same technique, okay? And the pricing functionality with plugins, and when I say plugin, I mean an actual configuration for a custom solution or a custom module or component that we can put in directly into the configuration, okay? Here's a good list that I pulled for promotion qualifications. A couple of them I've mentioned before, including a valid date range or allow for no expiration, some of the using a specific payment option if they're paying by credit card, if they're paying by money order, or if they're paying by purchase order, or using a specific payment method. If you're paying with MasterCard, or if you're paying with Visa, if you're paying with a gift card, you can receive promotions. You can have it at the cart level, you can have it right at the item level. You can just about provide a promotion or a benefit based on any qualification you can think of. This is not the complete list, just a few good examples that I thought you'd use. Some of the personalization based on a user's experience or user's order or purchase history, you can provide discounts as well. If you've seen that they've bought this before, if this is their 5th time purchasing, if they've bought this item 4 times, then you can determine, hey, well, this price itself comes down about 20%, okay? Just based on them being a valued member. And I talked a bit about the pricing and promotion workflows. This kind of shows it a bit, okay? It has new features for approving them, just in case someone wants to go in and give that family discount, but we don't really know if they're family or not. So we go in and say, hey, we have to reject that. That's not okay. But you can also say, hey, this is a good idea. Let's create a snapshot of this and only use it at a certain amount of time. And then you can determine when to implement that snapshot, okay? Of course, you have your commenting and reasons for approval or reasons for disapproval, just like you would in any workflow. Okay. And just like pricing, promotions are stored in the workbooks as well. So you have your different promotion tasks, your different promotions that could be daily or once a day, once a week, or anything like that, and you just reuse them based on that promotion book. You don't have to go and recreate. You don't have to go and even change the actual promotion itself. You can also implement your campaigns, right? If you have a campaign, just a standard Sitecore marketing campaign for Sitecore content that is outside of the commerce manager, you can take that campaign and apply it towards a product, okay? You may not be able to manage it from the campaign manager itself inside of Sitecore, but you can apply that campaign down inside of the product, inside of the commerce management system, okay? So that's Sitecore Commerce 8.2, 8.2.1. And as I mentioned, it was released in January 2017, became more available through the Microsoft Marketplace in February. And upcoming, we have Sitecore 8.3. Now, why are they going to 8.3 if they just released 8.2.1? We know Sitecore likes to give updates and upgrades, and it's always working. So, but the difference is more based on the experience analytics, trying to engage more with the customer. We've gotten into some of the personalization itself, but truly 8.3 is using some of those Helix principles to help some developers with not only marketing to the customer, but selling the product as well. Okay, so we're going to talk a bit about the evolution of the commerce. Okay, phase 1, which is 8.0, 8.1, 8.2, and a bit of 8.1, was more based on the shopping experience separated from the brand experience. Okay, more focused on selling, getting the user to purchase something, providing up what they're looking for, getting to the actual transaction completion state, right? The decisions, again, were made purely on the back-end integration. What we have coming up in 8.2.1 and 8.3 is more of the experience commerce, right? Harmonization of brand and shopping experience. I love that, right? It's more about, hey, we know what this user is. And when we say brand, we're branding the user, the profile of the customer and their shopping experience, okay? Search-driven exploration, which means that they're really enhancing the search features and enhancing those facets and making those facets dynamic, okay? And then seamlessness across the channels, okay? All of your ERP systems, okay? Making that user one profile so you don't have Google's analytics associated with user activity and what they are Salesforce leads and contacts and all of their behaviors and what they do, separate from your commerce or your XDB. Okay, all of that is brought into one pipeline, and Sitecore Commerce uses that, those behavioral analytics. Okay. So what's coming in Sitecore 8.3? Essentially, it's for the developers. Everything that is in 8.2.1, all of the cool bells and whistles, they'll all be there. But in 8.3, we get into more of the Helix, or that habitat. You had the habitat application, and you had the tool to be able to demo or be able to build on and easily take modules and put them into another site. Well, essentially, that's the same thing that's going on in 8.3. They provide a product catalog with over 1,000 products that you can demo, you can show, and you can actually test and do A/B testing on. It has the support for the new features, the physical products, the non-physical products, different subscriptions. And it also improved the customer service, self-service with order cancel and returns. So the customer can go in now and request the order to be removed or the order to be canceled, which is not in actual 8.2.1. They have to give a call in or email someone, and then someone from your team would need to go into the customer, the order management system, and either put it on hold or cancel it. Well, upcoming, the customer themselves can go in and request that. Again, trying to remove some of the overhead, remove some of the communication or lack of communication, okay? Also, cross-sells and upsells dynamically added to whatever the customer purchases or whatever is in their cart, whatever is in their abandoned cart. That email could have, hey, you have these 2 items in your cart. This may go well with that. So that upselling and the cross-selling is going to be very big in 8.3 to help the business. How to understand the customer and build the business. Okay. And as I mentioned, it's built on, it will be the new application, or the demo application is built on top of Helix. It's a brand new starter storefront based on those practices that Benjamin Vital just really excellently went over. And we already talked about Helix and how it's a series of design principles or whatnot. Performance and security tested, and it's really for the Sitecore Experience Accelerator. Anybody familiar with the Experience Accelerator? We'll do that in our next meetup. But the Sitecore Experience Accelerator, separate from Commerce or separate from Helix, is really about helping our development teams, helping the marketing teams, or helping different Sitecore partners like Coventry sell the product or sell the tool and rapidly develop some of the applications to get them to see what modules or what Sitecore can actually do. Okay, so Sitecore Commerce is taking that on and saying, hey, show you how to sell these products, or how you can lay out products, how you can personalize these products, okay? So that's coming up in 8.3. And multi-shop and multi-currency support. Right now, you can have multiple catalogs all on one commerce server, but you require a different commerce engine for each. In 8.3, you won't need that. You'll be able to have multiple shops and multiple currencies within one instance with one commerce server. Okay. Essentially, Sitecore Commerce 8.3 is just getting more into that experience accelerator, more into demoing, more into that Helix principle. So if you're in the market for Sitecore Commerce or commerce in general, we can do 8.2.1. If you want to, as a development partner, may get into 8.3 in order to spin up a website to show a client or show a prospective client or show someone that may be interested in Sitecore Commerce. 8.3, which I believe will be released in later on in July, mid-July, early August, I believe. That may be for you. That helps with the process of getting something up and going rapidly and showing it off.